The Army Upgrade channel continues to introduce you to the armies of various countries around the world. Today we look at China's armed forces. At this stage, China's leader Xi Jinping has called for an accelerated modernization of the national army, turning it into a world-class military force. In this regard, in terms of military and technical characteristics, the Chinese army is already quite a formidable force. Recently, the People's Republic of China has already achieved very impressive results in the improvement of its strategic nuclear forces, which have quite impressive combat and numerical strength. China currently has approximately 200 intercontinental ballistic missiles, DF-5, DF-31, DF-41, some 300 medium-range ballistic missiles, DF-21, DF-26, 1,150 tactical missiles, DF-11, DF-15, DF-16, and up to 3,000 cruise missiles of the DH-10 family, land, coast, air and sea-based. All the DF-31 and DF-41, and the majority of the DF-5 are multi-part warheads, up to 10 warheads, so China is known to have at least 500 nuclear warheads on its intercontinental ballistic missiles alone, possibly up to 1,000. For reference, the Army Upgrade channel reminds us that a DF-41 ICBM would take 12 minutes to reach Moscow, 16 minutes to reach London and 21 minutes to reach New York. China's medium-range ballistic missiles can be used in both nuclear and conventional configurations, but knowingly there is at least one nuclear warhead for each, which increases the total number of nuclear warheads by at least another 300. Another 400 or so nuclear warheads, in this case it does not matter whether deployed or not, are obtained if we assume that at least 10% of cruise missiles have them. Moreover, the PLA Air Force has at least 400 nuclear bombs for H-6 and JH-7 bombers and Q-5 attack aircraft. Also today, the H-6 bomber, based on the Soviet Tu-16, is experiencing a sort of second birth. Unfolded production of variants H-6HM-K, capable of carrying respectively 2, 4 and 6 cruise missiles, air-launched CJ-10. In all, 150 to 190 machines of these three variants were produced, and the H-6K M series is still going on. Production of the H-6N bomber, which can carry supersonic CJ-100 air-launched cruise missiles, as well as the DF-21D anti-ship ballistic missile, has begun. Beijing is also accelerating the development of the Xi'an H-20 stealth bomber. The H-20 has reportedly been designed to hit targets outside the second island chain, including U.S. bases in Japan, Guam, the Philippines and elsewhere. The third island chain extends to the Hawaiian archipelago and the Australian coastline. Bombers in this case would operate from airfields in mainland China. The H-20 strategic bomber will be equipped with air-to-ground missiles with nuclear and conventional warheads. Its takeoff weight will be no less than 200 tons and payload up to 45 tons. The U.S. Department of Defense estimates the range of China's new H-20 strategic bomber as 5,300 miles. The prospective bomber is expected to fly at subsonic speeds and potentially be able to launch 4 powerful hypersonic cruise missiles made using stealth technology. China's series of next-generation aircraft, dubbed the 20, includes the low-profile Chengdu J-20 multirole fighter, China's first heavy military transport aircraft Y-20 and the Harbin Z-20 multirole helicopter, which looks like a complete clone of the American Sikorsky U-60 Black Hawk helicopter. Thus, Chinese bombers are capable of simultaneously raising not only all 400 of the aforementioned nuclear bombs, and their number has only increased recently, and at least 300 nuclear-armed air-launched cruise missiles. The U.S. Defense Department's annual report to Congress on China's armed forces in 2020 cites data that the People's Republic of China now has the largest navy in the world with a total of about 350 ships and submarines, including more than 130 surface ships of major classes. The Pentagon report said China's navy is becoming an increasingly modern and flexible force. The Chinese are focusing on replacing previous generations of platforms with limited capabilities in favor of larger and more modern multipurpose combat units. China's naval fleet consists largely of modern multipurpose platforms with advanced anti-ship, anti-air and anti-submarine weapons, reconnaissance and communications equipment, the U.S. Department of Defense document specifies. China's growing fleet of aircraft carriers attracts the most attention. China currently has one dilapidated aircraft carrier from the former Soviet Union and two new aircraft carriers already built in China. A third aircraft carrier is under construction, and there are plans to build 4 or more ships of this type. A Chinese aircraft carrier fleet equipped with advanced systems, such as electromagnetic catapults, could provide air cover for maritime landing forces in an invasion of Taiwan or even confront the U.S. Navy in an aircraft carrier battle, which could hypothetically occur for the first time since World War II. U.S. aircraft carrier strike groups are always surrounded by cruisers and destroyers for air, missile, and anti-submarine defense. In this regard, China is actively building a new generation of sophisticated, heavily armed cruisers, destroyers, and corvettes. For example, the 6th Type 055 Renhai-class destroyer was launched in December 2019. The destroyers of this project are the largest in the world after the U.S. Zambult-type destroyers. China is also one of the few countries that possess submarines armed with nuclear-armed intercontinental ballistic missiles. There are up to 100 JL-1 and JL-2 submarine-launched ballistic missiles, which together can carry up to 350 nuclear warheads. Furthermore, many of China's advanced multi-purpose nuclear-powered submarines and surface ships are capable of carrying both nuclear-armed and conventional cruise missiles. Moreover, the number of such ships is increasing at a dizzying pace, which even the United States, not to mention Russia, cannot dream of. In addition to the existing 4 Type 94s armed with 12 JL-12 ballistic missiles each, a new design submarine is on its way. China's next-generation Type 096 boats, whose construction is likely already underway, are expected to carry a new type of submarine ballistic missile, the U.S. military's report predicts. China's Navy is expected to operate Type 094 and Type 096 submarine missile cruisers simultaneously and may have up to 8 of these ships by 2030. According to the U.S. military, particularly threatening is China's growing ability to launch sea-launched cruise missiles to strike coastal targets, LACMs. This is exactly the kind of capability that the U.S. Navy has repeatedly demonstrated with its Tomahawk missiles. It allows Chinese surface ships and submarines to strike key U.S. military bases in the region. For example, such as the island of Guam in the Pacific Ocean and, potentially, even beyond that water area. In the coming years, the PLA Navy is likely to deploy LACM-type missiles on its new cruisers and destroyers as well as the Type 093B experimental nuclear submarines, the Pentagon suggests. The rapid development of combat and operational capabilities of the People's Liberation Army of China has caused the U.S. to lose military superiority in the Pacific and the ability to maintain a favorable balance of power in the region. This happened against a backdrop of rapid economic growth. Between 1996 and 2018, defense spending in China increased by about 900%, allowing the People's Liberation Army to sustain a high rate of modernization in most key areas of national defense and security. China's achievements in missiles, fighters, submarines, and surface ships are particularly impressive in quality and quantity. Although China's People's Liberation Army has not yet caught up with the United States in terms of aggregate military power, the world's leading defense analysts have noted that trend lines are moving against the United States across a wide range of activities. See the video about the 5 secret military aircraft being built in the United States at the end of the video at the link. We hope you enjoyed the channel. Don't forget to click the subscribe button to keep up to date with our releases. See you on the Army Upgrade channel.